जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम 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 जय जय राम जय जय राम जय जय राम। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, राधावर कृष्ण चंद्र की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। जय नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः, गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। कुटी वर्णानां कुटी वर्णानां
वर्णानाम् अर्थसङ्खानाम् रसानां छन्दसामपि मङ्गलानां च कर्तारौ वन्दे वाणी विनायकौ। भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणौ, याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्ध्वस्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम्। वन्दे बोधमयं नित्यं गुरुं शङ्कररूपिणम्। यमाश्रितो हि वक्रोऽपि चन्द्र सर्वत्र वन्द्यते। सीतारामगुणग्रामं पुण्यारण्यविहारिणौ, वन्दे विशुद्धविज्ञानौ कवीश्वरकपीश्वरौ। उद्भवस्थितिसंहारकारिणीं क्लेशहारिणीं सर्वश्रेयस्करीं सीतां नतोऽहं रामवल्लभाम्। यन्मायावशवर्ति विश्वमखिलं ब्रह्मादिदेवासुरा, यत्स्वत्पादमृच्छैव भाति सकलं रजो यदा हे ब्रह्मः। यत्पादप्लवमेवमेव हि भवां बोधेस्तितीर्षावताम्। वन्देऽहं तमशेषकारणपरं रामाख्यमीशं हरिम्। नानापुराणनिगमागमसम्मतं यद् रामायणे निगदितं क्वचिदन्यतोऽपि। स्वान्धः सुखाय तुलसी रघुनाथगाथा, भाषानिबन्धमतिमञ्जुलमातनोति। भाषानिबन्धमतिमञ्जुलमातनोति।
रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः सीताया पतये नमः. We are in Adhyatma Ramayana, first canto, Balakand, 5th chapter, and here we have already seen that Marich and Subahu have been killed. Marich has been thrown away, far away, back into his own country. Subahu has been killed, and now, after 3 days of rest, Vishwamitra asks the Shyam and Gaur, Ram and Lakshman, to accompany him to Mithila Nagari, where an wonderful, inexplicable Shiva Dhanush, the Pinaka Dhanush, the bow is lying, and a great puja is going to be done for it. So let's go and take part in that. And while they are on their way, we saw, where are we? We saw, let me open up. कहाँ गया? So Vishwamitra tells him, Patra Pushpa Phalair Yuktam Jantu Bhi Parivarjitam Aladayati Me Cheto Bhagwan Bruhi Tattvata. And while they were on their way, they come across an beautiful ashram, which is in all ways it is beautiful but devoid of life. And Ramchandra ji asks Vishwamitra ji that my mind and intellect, they are very delighted and enchanted by looking at this place, but there is no life. Please tell me, what is the story or the secret of this place? Till here we saw last week, and today we get into the reply of Vishwamitra, and he says, let's read till 21st. Shri Vishwamitra Uvacha Shruno Rama Puravrittam Gautamo Loka Vishrutaha Sarva Dharma Bhrutam Shreshtaha Tapasaradhayan Harim Tasmai Brahma Dadau Kanyam Ahalyam Loka Sundarim Brahmacharyena Santushtaha Shushrushana Parayanam Taya Sardamihavatsid Gautamastapatam Varaha Shakrastutam Dharshayitum Antaram Prepsuranvaham. Shunu Rama Puravrittam Gautamo Loka Vishrutaha. And Vishwamitra ji starts telling in response to Ramchandra ji's question, O Shri Ram, Shunu. Shunu means listen, listen. Puravrittam, a tale from the past. Vrittam, a tale. Pura, from the past, from earlier times. Just like when we say Purana, Ramayana is Itihas, but we have done Bhagavad Purana. Pura, the word Pura is coming there from the ancient times. The Gautamo Loka Vishrutaha, the history of this hermitage. Sarva Dharma Bhrutam Shreshtaha Tapasaradhayan Harim. The world famous, most exalted and religious minded, pious sage Gautama used to live here, and while living here he used to worship Lord Narayana, Sri Hari, and Aradhayan Harim. He used to do the Aradhana of Sri Hari. Shrestha Tapasa. In the best possible way, he used to practice austerities, he used to do pujas, havans, whichever way that he was inspired, he used to do the austerities and penances for Lord Sri Hari. Tasmai Brahma Dadau Kanyam Ahalyam Loka Sundarim. And by Brahmaji, the creator, the father of the universe, being pleased by his austerities, by being pleased of his tapasya and his offerings, gave him a girl named Ahalya, who was the most beautiful Loka Sundarim, Ahalya Loka Sundarim, and he gave her a most beautiful in the world, and she was very sincere and very diligent in her duties, and for what purpose? To serve him for all the tapasya that he has done or in his daily chores, etc., etc. And why did Brahmaji give it to him? Because brahmacharyena santushta shushrushana parayanam. And Brahmaji gave it to him because he was happy by his celibacy. Brahmacharya means here brahmacharyena, with his brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means two things. One is celibacy, where that is at the physical level, but there is something called celibacy of the mind also. And that is where our mind, instead of, just as the vital fluids are not allowed to leak out into the world, similarly, the celibacy of the mind is when we do not allow the mind to leak out of the senses into the world. Instead, we offer it at the altar of the divine Sri Hari. And Brahmacharati, so one who is walking the path of Brahman, the one who is walking the path of truth, Manasa Vacha Kaya, in all ways, and Brahmaji was happy with that, and therefore he offered this girl. Taya sardham iha vatsid gautamas tapatam varaha and shakrastutam dharshayitum antaram prepsuranvaham. Sage Gautama, who was proficient and great in all penances and austerities, stayed here with Ahilya. On the other hand, the Lord of gods, Indra, was infatuated by her bewitching beauty, charm, and glamour. He coveted her and lusted for her and was on the lookout for an opportunity to be with her. See? Now, naturally, this girl, Ahalya, she has not come from the heavens. She has directly been created by Brahmaji. So his creation has to be more beautiful than the Swargalok. Swargalok, where Indra rules, it is only the third stage, third plane of existence. Brahmaji's is the seventh plane of existence. More knowledge, more power, more beauty. His capacity is more than Indra. That is why he is Brahmaji. In other words, the Lord of the mind is Indra. The Lord of the intellect is Brahmaji. Intellect is subtler than mind. See? Mind can imagine or think of only that which is there already. Mind can think of that which is already there in the world. From memory, from world, from past, something that you have seen, something that you have read, something that you have imagined before. But so mind imagines that which it has already experienced. Intellect can bring forth, intellect can think. Remember, what did we say? Mind imagines that which has already been experienced. Intellect has the capacity to think of that which is not there. That which is not part of this creation. Something most extraordinary. This is how Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. So Brahmaji's creation, that means the creation of the intellect, is subtler, is more potent, is more beautiful as compared to Indra's creation or Indra's world. So apply it on your own. Continuing, now we have seen that this Indra, he is now, intellect has sprouted forth, has thought about a form, our intellect or Brahmaji, he has thought about a form and offered it to Gautam sage, a great tapasvi. Now, Indra, when he sees such a beautiful person being offered to a hermit, a tapasvi, who has no wealth, who is living in a thatched hut, who doesn't even have proper clothes to wear, continuously contemplating on the Lord, doesn't even have time to appreciate the beauty of Ahalya. I think Indra's eye, when it falls on Ahalya while she is being offered to Gautam Rishi, say, he starts lusting for it. Our mind is the same. Whenever it sees something beautiful, it goes after it, it wants it, it desires it, it is passionate for it, it lusts for it. For small things to worse things. Indra is like that. What is mine, what is yours is also mine. Everything beautiful must be mine. That is his way of thinking. Mind also thinks like that. Once it has seen something beautiful, it wants it. It will contemplate on it. And when you keep thinking about, when the mind keeps repeating something again and again, then the desire for that is developed within the mind. Then it starts lusting for it. And this is what has happened to our Indra, in other words, our mind. Continuing 22nd to 24th. Kadachin muniveshena gautame nirgate gruhat dharshayitvatha nirgat tvaritam munirapyagat drishtva yantam swarupena muniparamakopanaha paprachakastvam dushtatman mama rupadharo dhamaha satyam bruhi na ched bhasma karishyami na samshayah sobravidevarajoham pahi mam kamakinkaram. Once one say, kadachin muniveshena gautame nirgate gruhat. Once when sage Gautama had gone out of the hermitage, I think it will come in Valmiki Ramayana or I can't remember which Ramayana, but the story is that Indra, he takes the form of a cock and he cuckoo early in the morning at 2 o'clock in the morning. Instead of 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, early, late at night, he starts. And Gautam Muni gets up and he, according to his dinacharya, he gets up immediately. He goes to take bath in the river. And while he is gone, when he has gone to the Indra, he takes the form of the sage, takes the form of sage Gautama, and sleeps with Ahalya. And Ahalya, and after having slept with her, having embraced her and been with her, he doesn't want to spend time because he knows sage Gautam is going to come back after the bath. Very quickly he gets up and he starts going out. But as he is coming out of the kutia, He is face to face. He has not changed into the form of Indra. He is still in the form of sage Gautama, which he has put on to trick Ahalya. And he is in face with in front of the real sage Gautama. Then in the 23rd verse, he says, Drishtva yantam swarupena muni paramakopanaha papracha kastvam dushtatman mama rupa dharo dhamaha. And the moment he sees, uski pant tight ho gayi. He got afraid. And immediately he changed into the form of Indra and ran away from there. Meaning, he immediately vanished from there. Gautama became furious and angrily demanded, okay, so he has not gone away, he is still there. He says what? O you wicked soul, O you lowly and depraved evil rascal, who are you to have disguised yourself as me or have assumed my form? Tell me the truth, otherwise I shall reduce you to ashes immediately. So the real sage Gautam, looking at the fake sage Gautam, says these words that, and in anger wants to curse and turn him into ashes. And he also adds one word, what? Do not doubt about it, meaning don't doubt my capacity and capability of turning you into ashes right here and now. And the moment this is told, Indra starts shivering and immediately he is caught in the act and immediately surrenders in front of sage Gautama saying, I am Indra. Satyam bruhi cha ched bhasma karishyami na sanshayah sobravid devarajoham pahi mam kama kinkaram. Sobravid devarajoham. So he answered that I am Devaraj Indra, and in this manner. But what does he say? Devarajoham pahi mam kama kinkaram. But I was overcome with lust and passion, and it is understood. Doesn't take the name. He says, save me and have mercy. Pahi mam. I am your Pahimam Kama Kinkaram. I became, Kama is lust, passion, Kinkaram, slave. I became a slave to lust and I could not. When lust takes over, just like anger takes over, you cannot stop it, just bursts forth. If we have not learned to curtail it, control it, same way it happens with the lust. And having surrendered, fallen at the feet of sage Gautama, not wanting to be turned into ashes, our Indra asks for mercy from sage Gautama. In the 25th, 26th and 27th verse, Yonilam pata dushtatman sahasra bhagavan bhava shaptvatam devarajanam pravishya swashramam drutam drishtva halyam vepamanam pranjalim gautamo bravit dushte tvam tishta durvrutte shilayam mama. So he says, Kutam krutam jugupsitam karma maya kutsita chetasa gautama krodha tamrascha shashapa divija dhipam. The krutam, the act that you have done, what act you have done? Jugupsitam, you have done a sinful act and a very dirty act, and which does not, really speaking, it does not behove on Indra to do such an act, because he's the king of the Swarga. and doing such an act. And so here he says this sinful one has done a very heinous, ignoble and reprehensible deed. Then who is saying this? Indra is saying that I have done such heinous crime, heinous act, and not knowing the real sage Gautama's eyes fell on his wife, who was disheveled, lying on the floor in the kutia. Gautama's eyes turned red with anger and he cursed Indra. What did he say? Yo nilam dushtatman sahasra bhagavan bhava shapat shaptvatam devarajanam pravishya swashramam drutam. Oh, you wicked pervert soul, you are infatuated, attracted to a yoni, you let your body have 100 holes. You let your body have 100 holes. This is the sharp that sage Gautama gave to what is that? To Indra. This is the when you say let your body have 100 holes, that is leprosy. From every pore in your body, the juice, the blood is coming out, the pus is coming out, the fluid is coming out, water is coming out, and that is the sharp that he gives. May you become a leper. In other words, let your body have 100 holes. Having cursed the Indra, the king of gods, the sage entered his hermitage to find Ahalya completely taken aback and shaking with fear, was standing with folded hands. Seeing her, Gautam said, "Oh, you wicked one, you should live in my ashram as a lifeless stone or rock." See, these are our Gautam Rishi. On one hand, he is a tapasvi. He did not ask for a girl to be sent to him. He did not ask. He was completely self-controlled. But when you have something in possession, you cherish it. And someone so beautiful as Ahalya, he cherished her. He had a good company who was only for him. See? And when he sees her, that anger, first he curses Indra to become a leper and curses our Ahalya to become Drishtva Ahalyam Vepamanam Pranjalim Gautamo Bravit Dushte Tvam Tishta Durvrutte Shilayam Ashrame Mama. You remain in this ashram in a form of a stone. This is the curse that he uttered out of anger. Now remember, we are not going too deep into the story because those stories are more elaborate in Valmiki Ramayana and Tulsi Ramayana. Here we have to understand, even some of you who are listening, you must have known that once the girl is married to a man, what is the girl told traditionally? Nowadays it is different, but traditionally, when you came from your village, from your small town, and you were married, what is your duty? Now you are leaving your Maika, you are leaving your home. Now your home, oh my daughter, is your husband's home. His parents are your parents. Now you have to mold yourself into his family, and he is your God. We cannot interfere in your life. We cannot take care of you. We cannot come in your if there are any difficulties, because now that was how it was traditionally. But today it is different. As the woman, and they were uneducated in those times. That's why also they used to say they were married when they were young. That's why those rules were there. But today, the woman is educated. She is not stupid. She is educated. She is holding a good post. She is bringing the falus into the family. And she demands equal respect. Today I cook, tomorrow you cook. Today I wash the dishes, tomorrow you wash the dishes. In other words, once upon a time, she was looked down upon because of whatever circumstances. We are not going to go into that. But today, there is equal respect for the woman folk in the marriage also, and they demand it, and it is right also, because the consciousness in each, whether in man or in woman, is the same. And we see that Sita ji, Ramchandra ji's wife, it will happen later on. And we see Shachi, Indra's wife. We see Mandodari. They all considered their husband as God, completely dedicated, completely surrendered, and that was their way to moksha. If moksha is the goal of life, if moksha is the ultimate destination that everyone is seeking in life, our scriptures in Manusmriti and all, it is told, be dedicated to the husband, be dedicated to the parents, be dedicated. But in Upanishads, in Puranas, initially in Upanishads, though not at all. Yes, in Taittiriya Upanishad it comes. Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Guru Atithi Devo Bhava, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman. So there it comes. But that is the growth. You have to wean away from all that. Whole life you cannot be remain as an individual. Life is pushing us to grow for more and more. Life is pushing us to expand. Life is pushing us to be more responsible for more and more. Look at your life from the time you were born till today. Many of you I know in your life, I've seen it unfold. From what job you were doing, what job you are doing today, what income you were earning, what your income today, what you are living in a rented home, you are living in a self-owned home. You came with a job, you had no job, you looked for a job. Today you may have a good, fantastic job or a wonderful business. And so many different stories are there. Every person in this world has a story behind him. But that story, if you look at it without any attachment, every story is a story of growth. Every story is a story of expansion. Every story is a story of experience. Yes, some people's experience are continuously of misery. Why? They don't choose to learn. They don't choose to grow. They want to remain stuck in their old ways. Growth requires fresh thinking. Growth requires fresh conclusions about life. Because life is continuously changing and you are not the same person. And when we forget that, our growth becomes stagnant. And where growth becomes stagnant, growth is possible only if your mind expands. Remember, mind keeps recycling what it has experienced. Intellect can think beyond what it has experienced, what mind has experienced. So, where are we? Are we living in memories? Are we living in the past? Or are we living for something great, for something divine, for something more wholesome, for something more fulfilling, for something more grand? And as we pursue that, once upon a time, the women folk were not allowed to. They were not allowed to chant Vedas, they were not allowed to chant Om, they were considered, somewhere it happened in between. I'm not talking about too far. But times have changed. Now, women folk also, girls also chant Om, girls also chant Gayatri Mantra, they also do puja, they are also pujaris, they also chant Vedic chanting, they also give lectures, they also practice brahmacharya. They are also tapasvinis, yogis, they practice yoga. Maybe more yoga classes are popular where there is a female teacher than a male teacher. So today's times are different. See? So here, coming back to the story, Ahalya, the most beautiful one, was offered to Rishi Gautam, sage Gautam, and sage Gautam, maybe out of jealousy, maybe out of the heinous crime, that why, if he is a self-controlled person, why did he get angry? Think. Why did he get angry? If he has done so much tapasya, practiced so much brahmacharya, that Brahmaji is happy, then why did he get angry? See, with his tapasya, Gautamji did not get realized. Instead, a final challenge came in front of him in the form of Ahalya. And when, just like anyone, how can I have not embraced my wife till today? He considered her own. Even here it is not said that she was married or not, but it is accepted that Ahalya is his wife. I have been practicing brahmacharya. I have till today not embraced this beautiful woman, and someone else comes and embraces her. सटक गई, दिमाग खराब हो गया. And therefore he curses Indra. And so this is another thing that we have to learn. Those people who are lusty for intercourse, such people who are insatiable, for that purpose, for coming together with the opposite sex, these are the people who get, leprosy. This is the disease that comes to them. And here the story is not there, but Ahalya said, I don't know, I saw that you are there. I did not know that it was Indra who has taken your form. He says, you are my wife, you are born from Brahmaji. Don't you have you didn't feel from the touch, from the embrace? She says, I have never touched you. You have never touched me. So I don't know. But sage by nature are benevolent. They will do whatever. So when she says, please forgive me, I did not do it purposely. But he gives her here let's see what he goes on to say. Evam varsha sahasreshu yanekeshu gateshu cha. ये कर लिया कि इसके पहले वाला करना है? हाँ, इसके पहले वाला 28 and 29. निराहारादिवारात्रं तपः परममास्थिता आतपानिलवर्षादि सहिष्णु परमेश्वरं ध्यायन्ति राममेकाग्रं मनसा हृदि संस्थितं नानाजनतु विहीनोऽयम् आश्रमो मे भविष्यति. And when there in the story it goes, when she apologizes that I did not do it knowingly, I thought it was you, and because I have never had the sparsha, I have never touched you, you have never touched me, I don't know, otherwise I would have come to know. And she apologizes. So then he says, he what do you call, gives her a way out, but that way out we'll see. So here he says, Nirahara divaratram tapa paramamastita. Perform tapas, severe austerities and penance here, day and night, without food, coping with the sun, wind, rain, and concentrate on Sri Ram, who resides in your heart. Dhyayanti Ramam ekagra. Manasa Hridi Sansthitam. From now onwards, this ashram of mine shall be devoid of all living creatures and shall become desolate for all practical purposes. This was also a boon to Ahalya. Why he made her into a rock? Because Jada Buddhi. The reason she came together with Indra and was influenced by the touch of Indra and the embrace of Indra was only because of body feeling. So she also looked forward. So that Deha Buddhi, Deha is what? It is the gross, it is the Jada. So with Deha Buddhi, you can never have Mukti. You have to give up Deha Buddhi. Only then we can come to the abode of the divine. So therefore, because she had this Jada Buddhi, Deha Buddhi, he made her into a rock and stone. In other words, he blessed her. Blessed her in what way? Now as a stone does not move. Stone does not. She's sitting in a big form. Imagine a human person sitting down. It's quite a big piece of stone. Wind cannot move it. She's still. And the tapasya, what she's going through, the sun comes, the rain comes, the winter comes, all the seasons come and go. And even if they are disturbing, she cannot run away. Why? She is stuck in one place. It's a blessing in disguise. And what does he say to her? Think of Sri Ram in your heart. And this is exactly what we have to do. That when we come to the seat of meditation, sit in one place. Asanam. What is asanam? Third step. First is what? Yama niyama. Don't be disturbed by the world, don't disturb the world. Second is don't get disturbed by yourself. So here, Ahalya is in a rock form. She is not disturbed by what is going on in the world. If our senses are open, then we will hear the birds. If we are concentrating Are you able to hear everyone? Are you able to hear? Are you able to hear? Hello? सुनाई दे रहा है? सुनाई दे रहा है?
अभी आ रहा है स्वामी जी।
हाँ, it went into the front, a different internet connection. It jumped. अभी ठीक है ना? फिर ठीक है. So if our eyes are open, they will see different forms. If our ears are open, even if we close all the senses, but if the ears are open, they will be disturbed by different sounds of what? Mosquito buzzing around outside your ears, or a fly coming and disturbing you. Now what is happening in this ashram? It is completely devoid of life. Plants and bushes are there, fruits are there, but no living creature is there to disturb Ahalya. To disturb Ahalya. So when you sit in seat of meditation, what are you asked? Yama, niyama, then asana. Asana means what? Sit still for a long period of time. Then alone the next stage will be possible. You will be able to focus on pranas. When you are able to focus on pranas, then they will become slow and shallow. Then you will become available to the mind. And with that mind, you will be able to practice dharana, dhyan, samadhi. But where is our major distraction? Our fingers are moving, our legs are shaking, our itch on this side of the body, sometimes on that side of the body, sometimes pain, so you change the position. All that is because we are identified with the body. We must learn to sit still. Ahalya, through this sharp, we may look at it as a sharp, as a curse. But it is a boon in disguise. She has been given. She came as an uneducated one, full of beauty. And here she is going to get the blessings of Lord Sri Ram himself. How to bring this about? Did you think of Paramatma, that the Paramatma is not other than the self before you came to the scriptures? Were you born thinking about scriptures? This attraction that we have for the scriptures, this interest that we have for regular satsang, did we have it once upon a time? No, it has taken time. It is very easy to get lost in the world. It is very easy. Grace is required to be divine oriented. So here we see Ahalya has been it's a divine grace in one way, that boon. Just like our Durvasa Rishi, whenever he curses, there is a hidden boon in it. Similarly, Gautam Rishi has cursed his wife. Yes, it is a heinous crime what she has done, but unknowingly. Unknowingly. So within that curse, there is a hidden boon. And Nirahara, we did this, na? And he says, Dhyayanti Ramam Ekagram Manasa Hridi Sansthitam. So, Dhyayanti, contemplate, meditate on Ram with single pointed mind in your heart. Hridi sansthitam nana janatu vihino yam ashramo me bhavishyati. And in this ashram, you don't have to go anywhere, and I will make this ashram, the curse includes that this ashram will be devoid of all creatures and become free of all living creatures. So what do we learn here? We learn that just as in every curse there is a hidden boon, similarly in every bad event that is happening in our life, in every unfortunate circumstances in our life, there is a hidden boon that something positive will come out. But are we available to it? Ahalya was available to it. We have to become available. Instead of cringing, instead of complaining, instead of pitying yourself, why me, why to me? Ahalya did not say, why me, why me, why me? It has happened. Full responsibility. She can't deny it. Our problem is we first commit the acts, first we go after our desires, and then, why me? I should not have done that, I should not have done this, poor me, it's delayed wisdom. We got all the answers, it's delayed wisdom, this wisdom should have been there at that time, while it was happening. So instead of going into a complaint mode and self-deprecating mode, accept the situation, take full responsibility and move ahead. Okay, if our mind is towards the Lord, if our dhyayanti ramam ekagram manasa hridi sansthitam, if this is what we are doing, not when problems come, who is the one who thinks of God when problems come? Artha. He is called Artha. Some people think of God when they want money. Artha. Jigyasu. Jigyasu is, he studies scriptures because he is interested, he is desiring, wants to know the nature of the divine. So which one are we? So if we are like Ahalya, continuously chanting, contemplating on the, she can't chant also. She can't chant. Why? She can't chant from her mouth because the physical body has become stone. But mind is subtle. Just like even this book, this book, you may say it is jada. You may say this bottle is jada, it is inert. But according to our scriptures, the entire jagat, the entire nama rupa jagat, the entire space, air, fire, water, earth, out of which this world is made up of, is nothing but Satchidananda Swarup. Because Brahman is everywhere. Reality is everywhere. If you want to take God, Ishavasam idagam sarvam. God is everywhere. Ishvara is everywhere. Then why are we not seeing the Ishvara in this? Because this is gross. In this, the subtle and the causal, they are not able to express. In other words, the Sat is, this is a bottle, but Chit and Ananda are unable to express from this bottle. In the animals, they have a gross body. Life is expressing, but Ananda is missing. In human being, gross body is there, Sat is there, you are existing. Chit is there, you are conscious. And you have been given the freedom to be happy or to be miserable. How to be happy? We choose to be happy like Ahalya. When she was touched by Indra, she succumbed to the desire. Indra succumbed to the desire. We also succumb to the desire of pizza, of gulab jamun, of opposite sex, of imagination, of future projections, imaginations. And this way we keep dissipating ourselves. This is our lot. Then instead, what do? You conserve all that energy. If you want to desire the Lord, desire the divine. Why did Ahalya? Yes, she went, we are not denying she went through that bad patch. But then why did she get this boon that Ramchandraji will come and bless you himself? Because with a single pointed focus, with single pointed attention, without any doubt, she has served sage Gautama throughout her life, since she has come to sage Gautama, without expecting anything in return. That has brought about intense purity in her. Falls happen in everyone's life. That does not mean because you have once fallen, you are condemned forever. That is not the way of our scriptures. That is not the way of nature also. You tread on the grass, it becomes flat. You go away, within a day, it is back up. See? On a hot day, the grass dries up. One rain, life comes back again. So you are not condemned. So forgive yourself. So here her husband has told her that what? Dhyayanti Ramam Ekagram Manasa Hridhi Sansthitam. So apart from the curse, here is suddenly a boon. That you can't. Does she know Ram? No. Then what is her motivation if she doesn't know Ram? Did Valmiki know Ram? Ratnakar? He did not know Ram. He was even feeling guilty to take the name of Ram. Naradji said, okay, you say Mara, Mara, Mara. He started, Ramchandraji. He was blessed to have written the Ramayana during Ram's life, Sri Ram's life. Did Shabri see Rama? Has Shabri seen Ram in her life? No. Was she educated? No. She was from a Bhil Jati, lower than Shudra, untouchable. But she served Matanga Muni ashram. She served Matang Muni. She used to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, 1:30, 2 o'clock, before anyone gets up at 3:30. Clean up the whole ashram, and not one, not 2 years she took care of. And when Matang Muniji was going away or breathing his last, whatever that story says, she said, what about me? What do I do now? For her, she doesn't know God, she doesn't know Ram, she doesn't know Sita, she doesn't know anything. She only knows Guru Maharaj ki jai. And that Guru told, my dear Shabri, you go. You don't stay in this ashram, but you remain in this kshetra. It's called Matanga Kshetra, near the Pampa Sarovar. And he said, you go, and one day, in this lifetime, Ramchandraji will himself come to you. That will be the fruit of the seva that you have done towards me. And she didn't do anything personally to Matanga Muni. All she did was, without any expectation, cleaned the ashram every day. Without any expectation, Ahalya served sage Gautama every day. For every karma, there is karma phala. Karma phala is binding. But was Ahalya doing karma? Karma means I am doing the work, and karma phala is you do the karma with an expectation of a result. Did Ahalya serve sage Gautama with an expectation of the result? No. Did Shabri wait for Sri Ram with an expectation of some result? No. She was just following the diktat of her teacher Matanga Muni. When we do our duties without any expectation of a result in life, purification comes about. We have become the patra, we have become the vessel wherein the divine will come and express. For the divine to come and express, the last bit of dirt which is left behind, or the residue which is left, that has to be cleared. It was cleared in Ahalya's case through this act and the curse. In Ravana's case, by developing enmity with Ram. See. But he got mukti. He went to Vaikunta. So when we perform our duties wherever life has placed us, do it because they are supposed to be done, not because we want something in return. See? And what do you do rest of the time while doing your duty? Dhyayanti Ramam Ekagram Manasa Hridhi Sansthitam. Continuously remember, contemplate, reflect on Sri Ram in your mind single pointedly, meaning let no other thought of the world, let no other thought of past or future, let no other thought of objectivity other than the thought Ram be there in your mind. And where? Hridhi, with bhav. The word Hridhi Sansthanam, situated in your heart. Mind is focused on Ram, but the bhav is in the heart. The feeling is in the heart. The surrender is in the heart. Surrender is not of the mind, it is of the heart. Mind is just a mechanical equipment which can keep chanting the same mantra for lifetimes. But when the heart comes in, their salvation comes. We saw that in Govindavlekar Maharaj's life story. When he entered into one mountain in Naimisharanya, there one rishi was sitting. He shakes him, he doesn't get up, he sits in meditation. Who? Govindavlekar Maharaj. He disturbs his mind. He wakes up, and the first question he says is, has Ram taken birth? Govindavlekar Maharaj says, yes, he took birth in Treta Yuga. This is Kali Yuga now. He says that sage or that hermit who was meditating, he says, I again missed him. What was the reason? He was going into Jada Samadhi. Bhav was not there. Bhav was not there. Mukti is here and now. Ram is here and now. Paramatma is here and now. Whether you call him Ram or Krishna or whatever name you have connection with. But he is here and now. Our mind cannot, it has to be trained to be in the here and now. But we are not ready to be here and now. What do? We watch serials, we watch movies, we go for movies, we go for restaurants. We are afraid to be with ourselves, with nothing to do. We are afraid. We are afraid to face ourselves as we are. Because we got addicted to doing. And doing takes you away from yourself. Ahalya cannot run away from herself. She has to face. She has been made into a stone. She cannot run away anywhere. She cannot be distracted by anything. And that is why we are told, get up in the early morning, in the Brahma Muhurt. Birds have not woken up. There is pin drop silence. There is no traffic, so fresh air, no pollution. We have heard all this, but we don't want to practice. 1 month. All you require is 1 month of dedicated application of your mind with devotion and surrender to the Ram Nam. See the magic happen within 1 month. 1 month is required. Not once a day. 24 hours. Lage raho. Any free time, keep chanting the Ram Nam. We don't want to do it. If you chant Gayatri Mantra for 1 month continuously, all the things that are troubling in your mind from the past or from your past lives which you don't even know, everything becomes silenced. You become free. You don't become realized, but they stop persecuting you. You become of the nature of light. And where there is light, there is no darkness. There are no shortcomings within. Dhyayato Ramam Ekagram Manasa Hridhi Sansthitam Nana Janatu Vihinoyam Ashramo Me Bhavishyati. Continuing in the 30th, 31st and 32nd verse, Evam Varsha Sahasreshu Yanekeshu Gateshu Cha Ramo Dasharathi Shriman Agamashyati Asanujaha Yada Twadashaya Shilam Padabhyam Akramishyati Tadaiva Dhuta Papatvam Ramam Sampujya Bhaktitaha Parikramya Namaskritya Stutva Shapad Vimokshase Purvavan Shushrusham Karishyasi Yatha Sukham. Look at what a wonderful boon. After having given her the curse, he is giving her the boon. Sages always are working for your benefit. Mahatmas, sannyasis, sadhus, they true ones, they do not hold a grudge. Sometimes, if for some reason it does express, but their benevolence, their blessings are much more potent than their curses. He says, after a passage of Evam Varsha Sahasreshu Yanekeshu Gateshu Cha, after the passing of 1,000 years, many thousand years, Dasharatha's son Sri Ram, along with his brother Lakshmana, Sanuja, what is it? Ramo Dasharathi Shriman Agamishyati Sanuja. Dasharatha's son Sri Ram, he will come along with his younger brother Lakshmana. Then Yadat Tvadashraya Shilam Padabhyam Akramishyati. And when Sri Ram will put his feet on the stone rock which is your form, you shall be, because till then you will be in the rock form, and then you will be freed from the sins and the consequences of your one wrong act that you have committed. In other words, we must forgive and forget, provided that person's character is of not that type. Mistakes happen. Mistakes happen. But tapasya is zaruri. Indra, when he becomes a leper, now who is going to rule the kingdom? That time Nahush Maharaj comes. He has to live as a leper for thousands of years. See? And it took him that many years to find a solution. Why? Unsettled mind. Self-pity mind. So if we are suffering in our life due to circumstances, due to too much wealth, due to no wealth, due to relationships, due to whatever, everything is an opportunity to, it's the best time, it is the right time for us, dhyayato ramam ekagram manasa hridhi sansthitam. It's the right time. Start today, right now. And this is the boon that he says. He says, when Sri Ram will put his feet on the stone rock which shall be your form or refuge till that moment, you will be freed from your sins and consequences of your misdemeanors. You shall then worship Sri Ram with due reverence and devotion. Circumambulate him, bow before him, and pay your obeisance. Praise and honor him, and thereby get yourself absolved of this curse. Thereafter you shall again be able to serve me most happily, as you had been doing till today. See? If there is a screw, कितने स्क्रू हैं हमारे दरवाजे के हिंज में स्क्रू होते हैं, कितनी जगह पे है. Roller door is making too much noise, there is a screw there. What do? You take the not Baygon spray, you take WD-40 and you spray. And what happens? On the screw, whatever the rust is there or whatever the dust is there, everything washes off, and then what happens? The screw smoothly comes out and smoothly goes in. The garage door smoothly opens and smoothly closes. This is immediate example. Huh? But when that WD-40, which is full of chemicals, I am doing such a great job keeping all the things together so that you can use, and you are throwing WD-40 on me. But what was that WD-40 for? For its benefit. This curse is like WD-40. A person with cancer, he is given chemotherapy. People say, yeah, it is such a horrible experience to go through chemotherapy. You can't taste anything on your tongue. There is continuously something अजीब सा taste रहता है. You stink continuously. You are smelling something. Why? Your blood has been washed with the chemicals. For what? To make you miserable? No. Then to remove the rust called cancer. Why did the cancer come? Because of your stupid habits of eating junk food. Eating anytime, wherever, whenever. More potent than that is cultivating negative thoughts leads to cancer, leads to disease. So what is japa doing? Dhyayato Ramam Ekagram. What are you doing? This Ram Naam will act as the washing machine, clean up all the dirt. The mind will still be there, but it is free of all the dirt. The cloth is still there. It goes through the washing machine effect and you can use it again. करो 1 महीना. एक महीना करो तो सही. Oh, but here it is written thousands of years. We don't. Arey, you are in Kali Yuga. That was in a long time ago. Because he said, Shrunu Ramapura. It was an ancient story. In Kali Yuga, 1 month is enough. Try. Don't stop after 1 month though. Why did it not happen after 1 month? Maybe थोड़ा कचरा ज़्यादा है. पर लगे रहो. 1 महीना है तो 1.5 महीने में हो जाएगा. If not 1.5 months, in 2 months it will happen. Maximum 3 months. But give it a go. What's there to lose? We are all already on the highway to Yamaraj. He is waiting. He is waiting. What do we have to lose? You have lived, you have satisfied your desires, you are in your youth or you are in your middle age or in your old age. Give yourself, can't you give yourself 1 month, 2 months, 3 months out of your such a long life? And you don't know you are going to be there tomorrow or not. Dive deep. Unconcerned about what is going on in the world. Unconcerned about children, unconcerned about wealth, unconcerned about disease. They will always be there. Keep taking your medicines. If the children call, answer them. Yes, everything wonderful. Stay at home. We are happier. And what are you doing? Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram. See? Saying this, the most exalted sage Gautama went to the Himalayas, which is the best amongst the mountains. Oh, the best in the clan of Raghu, oh Shri Ram, ever since that day, Ahilya has survived eating air and doing severe penance with the hope that one day you would touch her with your holy feet. Ramchandra ji he is such a dharma parayana vyakti person to touch a woman with his feet. Oh, no. Every woman is a matrutulya. She is like a mother and you are telling me to touch the feet. She has lived without any contact with any living creature for all this long, while in this auspicious but desolate hermitage. Before also she had lived without human contact with her husband, sage Gautama. And one contact, she succumbed because it's natural. And she was tricked. She was presented by Brahmaji. She did not know the ways of the world. She was not born from a human being. She was presented to Sage Gautama. She doesn't know. And that too, Indra, he took the form of her husband. What was she to do? But she succumbed. And as and to pacify that mistake, she did, through this curse, through the words of her husband, Sage Gautama, she has done thousands of years of tapasya in the form of a rock, only to be freed when Ramchandraji comes and touches her with her feet. So here he says, and then we will टाइम हो गया एक्चुअली. चलो 5 मिनट और करते हैं. इत्युक्त्वा गौतम प्रागाद धिमवन्तं नघोत्तमं तदाद्यहल्या भूतानाम् अदृश्या स्वाश्रमे शुभे तव पादरजस्पर्शं काङ्क्षते पवनाशना आस्तेद्यापि रघुश्रेष्ठ tapo dushkarama sthita. Saying thus, the most exalted sage Gautama went to the Himalayas, which is the best among mountains. We already did that, okay. And she has lived without any contact with any living creature for all this long while in this auspicious but desolate hermitage. Pavayasva muner bharyam ahalyam brahmanas sutam ityuktva raghavam haste gruhitva munipungavaha darshayamasa chahalyam ugrena tapasa sthitam ramashilam pada sprishtva tam chapashyat tapodhanam. Now you should provide liberation to the daughter of Brahma and the wife of Gautama, namely Ahilya. Saying this, sage Vishwamitra held Raghava Sri Ram by his hand and showed him Ahilya, who was steeped and engrossed in doing severe penances and austerities. Then Sri Ram touched that stone rock with his holy feet and looked at Ahilya, who was engaged in deep contemplation and penances. We'll just read one more, these three more, and then conclude, and then look at these verses in our next class. So the story is complete. Nanama Raghavo Halyam Ramohamiti Chabravit Tato Društva Raghushreshtham Pita Kausheya Vasasam Chaturbhujam Shankha Chakra Gada Pankajadharinam Dhanurbanadharam Ramam Lakshmanena Samanvitam Smidavaktram Padmanetram Shrivat Sankita Vakshasam Neelamanikya Sankasham Dhyotayantam Disho Dasha. Seeing her, Sri Raghava, that means Sri Ram, said, I am Ram, and bowed before her respectfully. Ramchandraji, 16-year-old, he could not say no to Vishwamitra, so he touched the feet. He first killed Tadka, who was also a woman. Here he is touching the feet on, because his Guru Maharaj is saying, even knowing that it is a woman still, but immediately the moment she comes back to her form of the woman, he immediately touches her feet by saying, I am Ram. Then Ahalya looked at the one who was the best in Raghu's clan and was wearing a silk pitambar, his forearms. She did not see Sri Ram and Lakshmana as the two young 16-year-old boys along with Vishwamitra. She got the Narayana darshan, the Chaturbhuj darshan, and His forearms were adorned with conch, discus, mame, shankha, chakra, kada, padma, and a lotus, respectively. A bow and arrow were slung on his shoulders, and he was accompanied by Lakshman. His face had a bewitching smile, eyes were like lotus flowers, and his chest was adorned by the footprint of sage Bhrigu. All the 10 directions of the world were being lighted, illuminated by the radiance and glow effusing from his dark complexion form, which resembled the Neelamani, the blue sapphire. Drishtva Ramam Ramanatham Harsha Visfarite Kshana Gautamasya Vacha Smritva Nyatva Narayanam Varam Sampujya Vidhivad Ramam Argyadi Bhiranindita Harsha Shrujala Netranta Dandavat Pranipatyasa उत्थाय च पुनर्दृष्ट्वा रामं राजीवलोचनं पुलकाङ्कितसर्वाङ्गा गिरा गद्गदयैलता. Seeing the Lord of Lakshmi, Ramnath is one of the names of Lord Vishnu, literally meaning the Lord of Lakshmi. Sri Ram, the eyes of Ahalya lit up with joy and delight, and she recalled the words of her husband, the sage Gautama, recognizing and realizing that he was Lord Narayana himself. How come she knows he is Lord Narayana himself? Because she is Brahmani, Putri of Brahma ji. तो थोड़ी तो इंटेलिजेंस होगी ही. So Lord Narayana himself, the unblemished and faultless lady who was not to be blamed but was yet cursed by her husband only for her benefit, worshipped and adored him by offering oblations as her husband had instructed her, and prostrated before him with eyes welling up and tears of joy, thanksgiving and happiness. Then she stood up, and seeing the lotus-eyed Sri Ram, her whole body was thrilled, and she began to praise him and sing the glory as follows. Now Ahalya Stuti is there, that along with these last few verses, last 6-7 verses, we'll look in detail in our next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Happy Ram Navami to all. एक भजन हो जाए और only one भजन. Daksha is sitting there or Arti is sitting there?
Daksha is here, Swami.
Daksha sing. Only one bhajan. Then I have to go. Quick.
पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो. 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 वस्तु अमूल्य दियो मेरे सतगुरु. वस्तु अमूल्य दियो मेरे सतगुरु. कृपा करा अपनायो. पायो जी मैंने कृपा करा अपनायो. पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो. पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो. सत की नाम केवटिया सतगुरु. सत की नाव केवटिया सतगुरु भवसागर तर आयो पायो जी मैंने भवसागर तर आयो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो। जन्म जन्म की पूजी पाई जन्म जन्म की पूजी पाई जग में सबाए खोबायो पायो जी मैंने जग में सबाए खोबायो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो। मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागया मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर हर कमर यश गायो पायो जी मैंने हर कमर यश गायो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो राम रतन धन पायो राम रतन धन पायो।
प्रणाम स्वामी जी।
आरती आरती पद्मिनी आरती क्या तुम ही कर लो यू नो द आरती यू हैव आरती इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू
हाँ हाँ स्वामी जी। आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति कलित ललित सियपी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति कलित ललित सियपी की गावत ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद वाल्मीकि विज्ञान विशारद सुख सनकादिशेष अरु नारद भरणी पवन कीर्तिनी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की गावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश छन्नो शास्त्र सब ग्रंथ न कोरस मुनिजन धन संतन को सबरस सार अंश मत सब ही की आरती श्री रामायण जी की गावत संतत शंभु भवानी अरुघट संभव मुनि विज्ञानी व्यास आदि कवि भज बखानी कागब सुंडी गरुड़ के ही की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कलिमल करनी विषय रस फीकी सुभग सिंह मार मुक्ति जुबती की दलन रोग भव पूरी हमी की तात मात सब विधि तुलसी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति कलित ललित सियपी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की। ओम न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकं नेमा विद्युतो भाति कुतोऽयमग्निः तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति। बोलो अध्यात्म रामायण की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय, सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय, गंगा मैया की जय, जमुना महारानी की जय, आज के आनंद की जय। हर हर नमः पार्वती पतये, हर हर महादेव। जय जय रघुवीर समर्थ, जय जय श्री गुरुदेव दत्त।
Shri Ram,
Happy
Jai Ram,
Ram
Jai Jai Ram. Happy Ram Navami.
Thank you, Swamiji. Hari Om,
Hari Om,
Swamiji.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Thank you, Swamiji. Hari Om, Swamiji.
Hari Om Swamiji, Happy
Hari
Ram
Om.
Navami. Happy Ram Navami.